right?
Yep, that is correct. Greetings,
Shit.
everybody.
I meant to watch Ulysses, Joan d'Arc, and the Alchemist Knight so that I could see if we want to review that. But I guess we can just talk about these two, and if it's good, we can add it into. We can talk about it on the next update.
Yep, next week we'll watch it before next week's episode. We'll take care of that. But anyway, greetings to everybody. This is Serpentine451 here for the second half of Weeb Wars episode 20. And joining me, like always, in our reviews is Jordan. How you doing tonight, Jordan?
I'm hanging in there, Tony.
Our struggles are real. That much is true. But anyway, we have at least 2 shows for sure for our review selection this season. And one that I was going to ask you about earlier, but you didn't respond to me through Discord.
I thought you said you were going to watch it.
Well, I am. It just amuses me greatly. Well, that would be Zombie Girls Saga. That time I got reincarnated as a slime, and Goblin Slayer.
Yep. Those are the 3 that I am watching with a tentative 4th, depending on how Ulysses plays out. But if we're going to go in the order of my queue, like always, the first thing up on the list is that time I got reincarnated as a slime. So,
Lord Jesus, what the fuck?
How to begin to talk about this one? So, it's an isekai anime. The main character ends up transported into a new world after having been stabbed to death on a public street in the middle of the day. That happened. And essentially, as he's dying, potentially because he's so old and a virgin, he gets to be reincarnated in a form that meets his desires. So this ephemeral voice takes all of his, like, death commentary and decides, oh, these are things that he wants in his life. A body that has no blood or is immune to pain and temperature fluctuations. And, it's a predator. And I'm just like, oh, wow, this is going to go poorly. And then, he reincarnates as a slime, and he has all of these powers, and his predator ability lets him eat things, anything, and not only analyze it, but gain its abilities, and he can use himself like a living cauldron to make alchemical items and things of that nature, which is fucking broken. Like,
what the fuck?
He is broken in ways that I have never, ever seen.
Oh my god. Yeah. And while he's initially reincarnated in the first episode, he gets to meet a dragon.
Yes, Veldora the Storm Dragon. The Tsundere Dragon at that.
Jesus. When I initially saw that, well, when you initially described that to me, Jordan, and it was just like, the fuck are you talking about? And so I saw it for myself, I'm like, no, I can't even right now.
It was flawless. So Veldora is one of the 4 primordial dragons, real dragons in existence. And he was imprisoned by a summoned hero 300 years ago before the start of the story, using a spell which I believe is called Unlimited Prison or something of that nature.
Yeah. Yeah, unlimited imprisonment.
Yeah, unlimited imprisonment. Because of this, he's been stuck in a cave and has been very, very lonely, to the point where when the slime shows up, he has this tsundere moment where it's just like, well, if you must be my friend.
Like, Lord Jesus, I don't need this in my life.
Yes, you did. You know you needed to have a dragon tsundere in your life. That's what you really needed in your life, Tony.
There are some things I need in my life, and potentially a dragon tsundere was not one of those things, but apparently I got it. I saw it anyway.
Nah, you asked the wrong question. If you didn't think this is it, if you didn't think this is what you needed in your life, you were wrong. It's very simple. The show thus far has been good. Uh, there have been it has been a negative comment posted on Crunchyroll about the pacing. I disagree. First episode, he had to die and be reincarnated, and he encountered Veldora. And then the second episode, because this updates on Mondays, I won't talk about because we'll get into it. But I think the pacing is fine. I don't know what they expected him to do. This is not in another world with a cell phone, with my smartphone, right? Like he's not gonna go from, oh, I have no idea what the fuck's going on, to let's use my cell phone to kill an entire army of zombies and end this entire conflict.
Very true. And I find it very amusing that the inner voice, the great sage, as it's called, basically analyzes everything and he acquires new skills and the ability to transform into things in the second episode.
Yeah. But we'll save the second episode for the second episode. But he's even more broken than you would anticipate. But honestly, I would give it in is if the show keeps up with itself and maintains a good pace, I think it will be a solid series, although it has not done anything so remarkable as to make it like a namestay for the indefinite future. That could change, but it hasn't like enslaved me or anything. It's not Megalobox where I was fiending every week to watch the next episode or anything crazy like that.
Very true.
But definitely solid. Tony, you got any more comments on this one?
Oh, episode 1 was actually very good. I actually did enjoy a lot of the interactions between the Storm Dragon and the Slime. I just find it very funny that this power scaling of one of the weakest monsters in RPGs basically becoming friends with one of the most powerful.
Yeah. Also, just as a small side note, I really like slimes as a monster, so I'm just like super excited to see that there's an entire series about them.
Oh my god. Very nice.
Yeah, like you just can't beat that with a stick.
Yeah, you just can't. Just
But
can't.
yeah, next thing up on the list is Goblin Slayer, the fate of particular adventurers. Oh my god.
Yes. Yes.
Becky got wrecked 6 ways to Sunday, and then they found some new ways on Sunday. Goblin Slayer episode 1 is a near page to page rendition of the manga chapter with honestly nothing held back. They even added some fluff towards the beginning to make you more emotionally attached to the people that they fucking gore on screen. Every scene is just powerful. It's just
Oh yeah,
so
definitely. Most definitely. Very powerful indeed.
for any Star Wars fans out there, yes, he kills the younglings too, and
Yeah, this man destroys all goblins.
they were animals, so I slaughtered them like animals, but not just the men, the women, and the children too.
Mm-hmm.
But
But let's get to the actual portion of the episode where we basically talk about this first episode. So our point of view character at the start of it is a priestess character.
Mm-hmm.
And her name escapes me right now, but it's not important at this point in time.
You know, I'm actually a really big fan of the anime, and I don't know anyone's name beyond Goblin Slayer because they all seem sort of expendable in my mind. But that I should probably find out her name. Continue with your explanation.
But anyway, she becomes an adventurer after being at the age of 15, which is apparently an adult in this world. So she decides, I want to become an adventurer. I want to help people. And then this plucky young group of adventurers, novices of the porcelain class, much like her, decide, hey, we're going to like kill some goblins. It's going to be badass. So they
Okay, so real quick, Tony, the reason that you don't know her name is because they don't have names.
oh shit. Well,
She's priestess.
she is just priestess. Yep. So priestess over here is going to joins this guild of 3 people, 1 dude and 2 chicks. And the dude very energetic and excited and like, hey, we're going to kill some goblins. This is going to be easy. So they go to the cave where they would find some goblins. And this is where a lot of fuck-ups happen and they get destroyed.
Absolutely fucking destroyed. Off gate, first thing we should have known better was that when lead swordsman goes into the cave and decides to start swinging his sword around, he hits the ceiling and almost drops his damn sword. Everyone laughs it off, but I was like, should this not have been a warning to you?
Yep, that was definitely the Chekhov's gun. If it happened again, it led to his death.
Yeah, no, I mean it definitely satisfied Chekhov's gun. If there's a gun on the wall, it better go off. Otherwise, there was no point in being there. Nothing that was shown in any of these opening scenes was trivial.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And
when the hobgoblin comes and starts disrespecting, for one, let's go ahead and touch on main leader swordsman's death. No, first we got to talk about the witch's death. Witch gets knocked down. They have her pinned. You think, oh no, bad things about to happen. And guess what? Bad things happen. They stab her right in the gut. Immediately out down for the count, but not dead. Swordsman comes in, starts I don't even know, slaying these goblins left and right like a manic crazy person. Priestess tries to heal the mage. It doesn't really fucking work. And the warrior keeps pressing the attack like a crack addict and is preventing his ally from reinforcing him. So he ends up getting into a situation where he swings that damn sword overhead, hits the fucking ceiling, and like the scene where his sword comes out of his hand and the fucking 5 goblins are on him. I'm just like, oh, well, he didn't make it. And these goblins just don't like to just stab you and kill you. No, they like to bludgeon the shit out of you until you're dead. So he dies bad.
Yeah,
Not well at all.
measure they cut off his hand.
They did. They did, Tony. Then the martial artist gets in there. You know, she's out here kicking people to death. And she goes to kick a hobgoblin. He's like, nah, son, give me that leg. Give me this wall. Throws her on the ground. We think, up, she's about to be dead. But no, they decide rape time. I'm like, wait. Having already known what was going to happen, I was still like, but wait.
Hold on. Like,
so, right before she's about to be raped, she decides to tell her friends to escape. So the priestess picks up the wizard and she's hobbling down the tunnel. They get to a point where the priestess accidentally drops the wizard. Oops, Butterfingers. And then the priestess gets shot in the shoulder with an arrow. That hurts. And then Goblin Slayer shows up.
Yeah. And the goblins that were there trying to like pull some shit with the slowly dying mage, Goblin Slayer was like, nah, son, you're going down.
Literally, the wizard said, kill me. Goblin Slayer said, okay, and killed her. No hesitation. That was the scene. It wasn't even like a build up 3 seconds. It's like, kill me, done. Got it. Boom. Let's keep it moving, guys. Which is one of the things that I love about Goblin Slayer, because he does the most crucial shit. And it's just like, wow, you're not even going to hesitate?
Yeah. I think all the years of him just slaying goblins just put in his mind where he basically like, I need to act because these little fuckers are crafty. They may be stupid, but they're crafty.
Oh yeah, they are definitely crafty.
Yeah, so he's killing goblins left and right, and our poor priestess pretty much pissed herself in terror after having a before Goblin Slayer shows up.
Oh yeah, no, she actually factually literally pisses herself, which in all honesty, I would have been done.
Yeah,
Like
and
she
like
has
the
a lot
goblin,
more bladder control than Jordan Bluford because I would have been just
these goblins showed some fucking disrespect. They were just laughing their heads off.
yo, there was no respect at all in this entire series at all. None.
Just nothing,
No.
nothing.
So Goblin Slayer goes in, he's fighting, he's slaying people. And the one thing that I really love about Goblin Slayer is he doesn't have any attachment to anything. He comes in with a sword, he's using it, he kills a few people, he just scars it. She's like, why are you throwing away your sword? It's got too much blood on it. Which is technically true. You know, you have a sword that's cutting through blood, fat, viscera, whatever. It dulls itself out rather quickly, especially the way Goblin Slayer uses it. So he doesn't fucking bother. He just lets the shit go. The goblins brought weapons. Let's kill them with that. So he's out here clubbing people to death, axing them to death, stabbing them with spears. I'm just like, wow.
Throwing their little knives at them.
I'm just like, okay, okay. This fool goes into the basement pretty much, finds out where the shaman is, literally uses the divine light spell of the priestess to blind everyone temporarily and see into this dark room, fucking spears the shaman, round one, attack one, round one. He's out. Then he goes up the stair. He goes back up the, like, I guess, inclined slope that leads to this basement cellar. Hobgoblins are following, goblins are following. He has a trip line set up. Priestess blinds the hobgoblin. He trips. Goblin Slayer, round two, attack two, kills the hobgoblin. He then pours gasoline on his ass, kicks him, lights him on fire, kicks his ass down the slope where he kills two or three other goblins.
Yep, and in this same dungeon basement throne room looking place, we see our martial artists just looking worse for wear, mentally scarred, just utterly destroyed in a different way.
Yep.
And then we find Goblin Slayer finds a what looks like a door, and inside are goblin children. And he says, "Boys," the priestess says, "Are you really going to kill children?" He's like, "Yeah, because even though they're stupid, they're going to remember grudges when they're young. So in order to nip it in the bud, I'm going to kill these little bastards."
And the thing that gets me is that he didn't even dismiss the fact that goblins could potentially be good. He just said the best goblin and never leaves the hole. And I'm just like,
Yeah. And then he proceeds to basically eviscerate all of these goblin children.
yeah, no, it was not it's not the time nor the place.
And we get this little epilogue about all the girls that the goblins have kidnapped and raped into producing more of their brood. And now that they're sent to a convent, there's the word, because they feel so unclean.
Yep, I mean, I guess that's one way to bolster your members, but I'm sure that shouldn't be the way the church gets nuns. All the same, but the way that the priestess made it seem was like, yep, this is just all too common occurrence. Novice adventurers go to save women captured by goblins, get slaughtered to the nines, and then the women that they recover, that eventually get recovered, are so traumatized they join the church, and a novice adventurer who watched all their friends die is never heard from again. And I'm just like, why is that like an everyday thing in this world? Y'all need to get a better system. What is this?
Yeah, but at least the priestess joins up with Goblin Slayer as
Yeah, she was unmurdered and unraped, so she made it out okay.
She survived that initial onslaught, and so she'll be now joining Goblin Slayer on his goblin slaying adventures.
Yep. Which is funny because like literally all that they're going to fight throughout this whole series is goblins. And
And I've stopped reading the manga for a short amount of time, but I'm sure fucking other crazy nonsense is going to be like popping up.
well, yes and no, but it's mostly goblins.
This is true. These would be the actual factuals. But we're going to be also introduced to new characters with this series, so
Oh yeah, it looks like they're doing it. I don't know if they're doing a chapter by chapter basis, which mean if that's the case, then we might not get too terribly far. But I really hope we get to see one arc in particular. I'm going to call it the farm attack arc. I don't know what it's really called, but I'm sure you can get where I'm getting at from that note.
yeah, okay. All right. I get you. I get you.
So we're going to see. Yeah,
And
that's it for Goblin Slayer. Great.
because that
It's
thing
the best one this season, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep, I agree with you there. But you know what's the sad part, Jordan?
Hmm.
Just like Megalobox, it's only 12 episodes long.
Well, I mean, we can't get greatness all the time. Also, I think Megalobox did good for 12 episodes. Some people really didn't appreciate the ending, but those people suck.
Yeah, they don't understand like the true benefit of that ending.
Yep, and I mean, I guess they forgot about the whole objective of the entire series, which was literally just to fight Yuri.
Mm-hmm. These are the facts, but I think just like Megalobox before it, this is our go-to show that we will anticipate every week, Jordan.
Yeah, no, I'm already ready. I am all ready. I'm all ready. I am ready. Either way, uh, episode 2. Waiting to see it.
I'm excited.
All
I'm
right.
excited.
Yep. Last show on the list is Zombie Land Saga. You know, I don't even know what to fucking tell you on this one. It's good in the funniest possible way, but Lord of Mercy, am I still confused after episode 1? Tony, you're the one that recommended this to me, so why don't you go ahead and start us off?
All right, so the way I've been describing this show, like its whole plot synopsis, I've been describing it in this way. I think I pitched this to Jordan in this way, so I'm going to repeat myself once more. So the show starts off with this cute anime girl ready to go to school, about to become an idol. She has all this paperwork in an envelope. She's ready. 2008. She's excited. She runs out the door onto the street, gets hit by a car, and dies.
And she doesn't just get hit; she gets clean throwed by this damn car. I have never seen an anime just disrespect someone's body like that. Normally, you go under the tires or something. Nah.
No, she went flying. She flew into the air. And then 10 years later, she wakes up in a dank ass, creepy mansion where she finds out that she's being beset on by zombies. But not just ordinary zombies, zombie idols.
Amen.
And then I'm guessing the benefactor of this home, the man's name escapes me, but I call him the eccentric individual.
Yeah, I don't know any of their names at this point. Let's find the answer.
Yeah,
I take that back. I know one person's name, and it's Tai-chan because of the ending of episode 1. I'm just like, but
oh
why?
yeah, Tai nonsense. It's amazing.
Kotaro Tatsumi.
Yeah, this man is one of the most eccentric motherfuckers I have ever come across in an anime about death.
Yeah, it's funny because he's also responsible for resurrecting them.
Yep. His whole plan is I am going to resurrect these girls in order to like save the Saga prefecture.
Oh, fun thing. Zombieland Saga is a original anime. It has no manga source material.
Which, while perusing Anime News Network, it turns out that there's actually going to be now a manga adaptation of this thing.
Yep, first chapter came out today.
Righteous. But anyway, let's just move on. We have the various different idol characters, including our POV character. But I gotta say, the comedy in this show is actually fucking great for just how absurd this shit is.
Yeah, it's full on absurdity. But the point of view character is Sakura Minamoto.
Right. So Sakura finds out that she's a zombie with a massive head scar where she got destroyed by that truck.
Yeah.
And so she comes across the other zombie idols and Kotaro's whole plan is to get them to go to a venue so they can awaken like Sakura did. The others can awaken like Sakura did. But fucking Taishan just like wants to disrespect and eat people.
Oh, Tai. Oh, you crazy bitch.
Yeah, so they go to a metal concert where the most glorious thing happens. When the music plays and they start getting into it, they just headbang so hard that they look like they're bowing as they're headbanging. Their necks just flailing about like they're fish out of water.
It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And when Saki Nikaido picked up the
Megaphone
and just started screaming into them, just like, yep, that is how you do
that's how
death metal. Yep.
that's how you do that. And the audience fucking loved it. And then after a while, through some flashback scenes, you see the zombie girls basically destroy and like eat people. Mostly Taichan is doing all this work.
Yeah, which is terribly funny given how it ends.
Yeah, because now the zombie girls, actually all of them but Taichan, are fully awakened individuals, and they're like, "The fuck is happening? What's wrong with this girl?" And Taichan's like,
Yep. It's just like, but why is she not awake?
I guess we'll find out in episode 2. I don't know. But fucking Culturo, the way he explained all these individual idols, it's fucking genius.
Yep. Like he talks about them, and then it's just like the legendary Dai Yamamoto. Why is she legendary? Does it fucking matter? Why the fuck are you legendary?
Like,
not a damn reason at all. I wish I was adding some things, but I think that's pretty close to the truth about what he said.
Yeah, and but I think the monikers, these legendary monikers for these different characters, is just great. When I pitched this to Jay, because he has made it expressingly clear that he hates idol shows.
But he'll watch shows about little girls being cute. All right.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of odd. But when I pitched this to him, when I mentioned the idol aspect, he's like, "Nah, I'm not interested." I'm like, no, dude. I'm like not joking with you. This is fucking great.
Yeah, man. You gotta reach outside of your box sometimes. Watch something that you wouldn't normally have watched.
Yeah.
You didn't want to watch that time I reincarnated as a slime, and I was like, Tony, this is right up your alley. It's like, I'm not interested in the plot. I looked into the light novels, like, I'm telling you, this ain't light novels.
True, but still, I still find that reincarnated as a slime anime nothing but nonsense. It just like I can't. But still, I will watch it because it amuses me in such a way that I'm like, it touches this part of me where I am utterly bemused that this exists.
Yes. I think that, so trying to wrap up Zombieland Saga. So Zombieland Saga begins with our protagonist, Sakura, dying. then waking up 10 years later, figuring out she's a zombie, and being forced to be Zombie One and a new zombie idol group who's been tasked with saving the Saga Prefecture through some mechanism. Uh, and they end up going to a open mic uh, death metal
Yeah,
venue.
yeah, it's a
And,
death metal venue.
yeah, and they make it through via headbanging and screaming into microphones. Afterwards, all of the others, except for Tai-chan, awaken to being conscious in their zombie bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But this show is actually very funny, and I was anticipating what your response was to this, Jordan, since I recommended it.
yeah, I was pleasantly surprised at how funny it was. I did not have a whole lot of expectations. I was just like the crowd. I had no expectations, so they blew my expectations out of the water.
So, I think if you have a question for the Otaku Soapbox, Jordan, I will give you free reign to do that, since we pretty much said our piece on Zombieland Saga.
Well, I guess since we've been talking about that time I was reincarnated as a slime and how you're a fan of the isekai genre, uh, seeing as we've both seen enough of this genre, what makes the difference between a good isekai anime and a bad isekai anime?
Well, that is actually a good question. I think it all has to go with the protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can't disagree with me there. That is a very simple question. So, like, let's bring up the examples that we have seen for sure. I was sent to another world and I saw my smartphone or whatever that shit was. The protagonist is blander than toast. I mean, fucking white bread.
Toast.
And
he is milk toast.
power. That's kind of the problem with most isekai light novels as a whole. They make their protagonists too strong.
Yeah, it's weird that it's not even so much that I have a problem with him being strong. Like I love is it Legend of Legendary Heroes? Where it's the one where they come back from the world.
Mm.
1 second. Let me make sure that this is the one I'm thinking of. No, it's not. That one is fucking ridiculous. Either way, there is a isekai anime that deals with what happens to summoned heroes when they return back to the world. And in that anime, they retain their powers and have to deal with, integrating into human society with those powers. And our main protagonist is a hero that is like dumb strong. Like, I mean, dumb strong. But he wields it like he's fucking strong, not like he's incompetent. And he has way too much personality, which makes the series good.
I think
there's a big tittied demon lord's daughter, but whatever, right?
Oh, now I remember.
That's what made you remember.
Well, I don't remember its name, but I do recall something similar to that, and I'm like, oh Lord Jesus. I remember that because if it's the anime I'm thinking of, there's a fucking lesbian character in there. She just takes the opportunity to like try to bang one of her former fellow classmates in the fucking storage room.
Yeah, that's the one, Tony. Now I don't know why you remember these obscure ass details instead of the main ass plot, but all right.
Yeah, but the man you're referring to is like, yes, this man is dumb strong. And has personality. Diablo has personality.
Yes. I think the important thing is not so much that a character cannot be overpowered. Oftentimes, main characters are out within the isekai genre and without. But it's a matter of, are they bland to watch? And do they just sort of use their power to bulldoze through all of their obstacles. Diablo is incredibly strong, but there are still things that occur throughout the series that are outside of his ability to command. He cannot make Shara not leave with her brother. He can go get her, but there are still things outside of his control. And I think that's the important thing, that even when someone is this ridiculously powerful, they're not God.
Very much is true. These are
one thing that worked against things like smartphone is that there was no situation which wasn't almost immediately disarmed with no sacrifice whatsoever. Everything was under the purview of this guy. God might as well have given him the power of himself.
Yeah, and also just the character himself really had no stage presence.
No, but I think the reason that is, at least for the light novel variant, is so that they can do author self-insertion, well, reader self-insertion, and be like, oh, he's so anonymous, he could be me. And I'm just like, maybe that's good for people that read light novels, but it doesn't translate well in the anime because more often than not, I'm not trying to insert myself into the anime. But maybe that's just me. Maybe it appeals to some people to be able to replace the character with themselves because there's no generic.
That's typically what the harem genre just does. Makes some source material characters into like these pansy ass motherfuckers who are just blander than toast. But when we get characters that retain their original personalities, I'm like, yes, I am happy, I am satisfied.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a balance that has to be struck with these sort of things. Another thing that I think about isekai anime is that there has to be a reason for your hero to be there.
Oh yeah, definitely. I agree with there.
Like, even if it's like, oh, he's the chosen one, cool. But like sometimes people just go to a world it's just like, oh yeah, I died and I got to come here for free and I have all these stupid ass powers. I'm picking on smartphone again. I have all these fucking
Master of Ragnarok is like a fucking offender of that as well.
Yo, Master of Ragnarok, I had so much hope for, but the one where I expected there to be a flashback, we just kept getting deeper. I'm just like, are you ever going to explain all this shit you keep doing?
Yep, but they didn't. So,
like I was on episode 4, and they were just starting to describe what an Einhard jar was. I'm just like, no, I'm out.
I'm like, yep, I am done. I'm fucking done. But we saw a greater isekai anime last season in How Not to Summon a Demon Lord anyway.
Yep. But yeah, I definitely think that the isekai genre is becoming oversaturated, especially with people being caught in death games, computer games, simulations, things like that. Another one, Overlord, great, fucking amazing.
Yeah. Fucking sweet. Konosuba is great. It's fucking hilarious.
Yes, there are definitely some textbook examples of good, and then there've just been a lot of bad. I really hope that Reincarnated as a Slime does not become one of them.
Yeah, as someone who had to be like convinced to watch it, I can see the potential of this show itself, much like Jordan can. But we should always, when it comes to isekai anime isekai as a genre as of right now, we should be always tentative and aware that it could potentially just be ass.
Yeah, and then it just has such a high potential to derail itself. It's just sad. But that's all I really have to say on the subject.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty much all I'm going to say about it too. You know, and it's kind of interesting, like maybe in the coming weeks we can actually explore like different genres in the otaku soapbox and what makes certain aspects of it great or just terrible.
Sure, we can do that.
And I think comedy would be for next week. What do you think, Jordan?
Comedy's fine. I mean, there are very few comedy series that I've ever watched that I didn't like, but we can talk on it at length next week.
Yep, definitely. So we'll end this episode here. Thank you for joining us on the second half of Weeb Warriors 20th episode. check out the first half, which me and Jay reviewed the My Hero movie and talk about My Hero Academia Season 3, because he wasn't here for that last season. Yeah, it was a whole bunch of nonsense. We just went off just describing this film and how magnificent it was. And so join us for the 21st episode next week while we review all these 3 shows and tentatively Ulysses, depending on how well it fares.
Well, I mean, we'll have a review for it. It will just be a matter of if we continue.
Yep, it's just going to be somewhat scrutinized by our analytical eyes. But until then, catch you guys next time. Make sure to check out Quentin's channel. He still makes good content. It's great.
Yep, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Ninja Black HD.
So, tune in next time.